Alright, so here's the second What Would They Be? And this one is, what would Roberta from Black Lagoon think of Slade Wilson, aka Deathstroke? Now, you can clearly see there are some major similarities between these two. They were both killers for hire, but however, one believed in like a sense of freedom. The other was more like, I'm going to do it for the money. But I have my standards. So what would Roberta think of Deathstroke? I think she would find both of them would probably find each other very interesting. I think they would find each other. I think they would be incredibly impressed with one another's skills. They would definitely be impressed by one another's tactics as well as combat skills, and I think their histories would be very interesting. I think Slade would honestly be impressed that this woman doesn't have a super soldier serum within her. He would be like, you can do all that without the need of, I had a super soldier serum within me. You can do all that all by yourself. Damn. So these two. The thing is like, would they get along? That is a big question. They are two they do have the similar goals, and they're both just soulless killers when it comes down to it. But I think they would kind of agree on a few things. One, despite everything, Slade Wilson still loves his kids. He still loves Rose. He still loves Jericho, and in a way, he still loves his wife Adeline. So I think they would agree on that family comes first in their line of work, because even though her family we don't know much about Roberta's family. The family she does have is still Garcia, because in Roberta's bloody trail, her master was murdered. So all she has left is Garcia, and she still remains loyal to him. Slade, I think, would understand that and kind of respect that in a way. I think both of them would respect each other in that kind of line. Among other things, I think Roberta would be impressed that Slade has all this weaponry in his tech. I think she would also, if they're just swapping war stories, they would both be talking back and forth of all the war stories. And I think Slade would always top her, like, oh, I beat Batman senseless once, or I fought Green Arrow. And Roberta said, if one of these days I ever got a hold of these people, I would kill them, not just toy with them. I honestly think Roberta would, instead of, Slade, who attempts to kill these people, I think Roberta would just go all out. No, flamboyant theatrics or anything like that. She would honestly kill these people. She would just completely and totally annihilate these people any one of these superheroes that got in her way. Among other things, I think Roberta would be very kind of curious to see all the kind of weaponry and tech that Deathstroke, Slade carries. Whereas I think Slade would be kind of impressed with all the weapons she carries on herself, because in her chambermaid costume, having all those grenades strapped to her dress, the shotgun inside of the bulletproof umbrella, and he would say, and people, I think honestly, Slade would look at all those, all that tech and gear on her and be like, and people say, I have a flair for the theatrics. Oh man. But among other things, I think I've said that like 3 times now. I honestly think I've said that like 3 times. That sentence, among other things. Oh my god. But yeah, I could also see like maybe Slade, curious to know her past, and I think he would, Roberta would also be very curious about Slade. I think she would know, honestly. Although, honestly, if they exist in the same universe, I think Deathstroke and Roberta would have heard of each other on occasion. I think they would have heard of one another, and heard of the line of work they both do. And I think eventually they'd be like, okay, somewhere down the road, I'm going to cross paths with this person, and more than likely, it's going to be a fight to the death. That is probably what it is going to amount to in the end, is that I'm going to kill this person, because because more than likely our goals aren't going to mix. And for what it's worth, I do think that Roberta and Slade would probably run into each other given that situation. Honestly, they would. I think that's would be the situation given, is that they would run into each other. Either it would be earlier in Roberta's timeline, where she's still part of the Colombian guerrillas, and she is, someone sends Deathstroke to kill her, or Deathstroke gets a contract from the cartels to kill Garcia, and Roberta gets in his way. These two would not meet just to have a friendly chat. This is just me being, nice, because in all honesty, realistically, these two would meet trying to kill each other. They would be literally trying to exterminate one another off the planet in the most violent way possible. But yeah, these two, I don't know if they would get along or not. I don't know, honestly, if these two would get along in the slightest. That's the big question, is that if they could get along or not. I think I could definitely see some respect between the two. Don't get me wrong. There is definitely going to be some respect between these two characters. Because they could look at each other like, yeah, there's a lot of blood on our hands. There's a lot of things we could have done better in the past. But let's face it, we are who we are. We're killers, and there's no going back from what we're capable of and what we're going to do in the future. But like I said earlier, realistically speaking, these two are more than likely going to meet each other on the battlefield, and it's going to be bloody. It's just going to be a bloody. It's just going to be a blood orgy. That is what it's going to be. Just a straight up blood orgy in all of its gory, unholy mess. Yeah. So, you guys tell me, what do you guys think? What do you guys think Roberta would think of Deathstroke? Do you guys think they would get along? Do you guys think they would be impressed by one another? Or do you think they just wouldn't talk and just straight up kill one another? Comment below and let me know. And once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.